Hello, my name is Caitlin Backwell, and today I want to tell you about how our sports careers and other major life choices can lead to the best years of our lives. But at what cost? In high school, I took a sports medicine class and spent nearly half of the weeks learning about brain injuries and how they affect our lives. Both of my brothers were offensive linemen in high school, and my best friend played hockey for over 12 years. This is something that genuinely taught me to be interested in how our bodies are affected by the choices that we make. According to CTE neurosurgery in 2012, patient 15 was an 18-year-old high school student who died suddenly and unexpectedly after repeated concussions while engaged in contact sports in school. Today, I will tell you about chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a traumatic brain injury that, if attained, is harmful, life-changing, and even threatening from repetitive head trauma. I'm going to walk you through different processes in the brain injuries and how it can affect our children's lives, how CTE is limited to not only professional athletes, but to other career pathways, and how CTE goes undetected mostly. Parents and guardians are rethinking letting their kids play sports, and I think this is very big because according to Concussion and Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy, current pain and headache reports in 2015, many contact sports have now been linked to CTE, including American football, boxing, hockey, soccer, rugby, and the epidemiology of CTE is not yet clear due to the inability to diagnose it during life. However, former National Football League players over 50 years old are 5 times more likely to have dementia than the national average for men in that age group, and mortality due to the neurodegenerative disease that has increased the threshold. Playing sports can genuinely lead to all of these injuries, and it's causing parents to put a hold on what they think is best for their children. They like to see the small injuries and the little things and have that say, oh, you shouldn't play sports. And I think that is something that is because of, from the links of chain and chronic traumatic encephalopathy, the New England Journal of Medicine. The scholastic and recreational athletics are also implicated in a syndrome, particularly one involving the brain. The worry extends the risk associated with youth sports. And I think that a lot of parents are seeing these causes of brain injuries in older, more competitive sports, and I think they're letting that affect the younger children of this generation. And I think the solution is to know that it's safe to play sports in moderation, and there will always be a risk, but I think that some ways that we can get around this is regulating physicals more often. I think even once a month, every other month, having meetings for parents and other guardians to know that their children are safe, who these people are that are coaching their children, and overall hopefully that'll lead to a better understanding for the parents to not be so worried. Another problem is that CTE has not only been limited to people that participate in intense sports, but anyone that has had repetitive hits to the head is at risk. According to CTE, Impact on the Brain's Emotion and Cognition in 2019, further CTE has also been diagnosed in soldiers exposed to repeated episodes of explosive blast-induced mild traumatic brain injury, or TBI, returning from active duty in the Middle East, as well as individuals with epilepsy, victims of physical abuse, and those of disability exposed to rapid head-banging behavior. And I think that anything that we do in life can be potentially harming. I think the causes that lead people to get these things are just our everyday choices. For example, even getting in a car can lead you to have some sort of TBI or just a chronic injury that could lead to life-changing experiences. I think our main solution is to just figure out how to not live in fear and figure out how to provide an understanding that whatever we do, there could be consequences. There could be something later in life that will lead to something that could be more harmful for ourselves. Our bodies can develop cancer, our bodies can develop dementia, etc. And it doesn't have to necessarily be from contact sports, but it could be from driving a car, going into the military, just anything that really could hurt our bodies. And I think that the main goal is to understand that we should be ready to have a doctor check us out if we feel something's wrong. We need to know what is happening with our bodies, and I think that's the ultimate solution. The last problem is that CTE goes undetected in those that do have it for a while because it simply is seen as a concussion at the beginning, and there's really no way to tell if it is CTE. According to CTE Confusion, Controversies, and Nature Review in 2019, while we await full rigorous characterization of CTE, the current evidence does not support the widely accepted premise that is exclusively topathy that occurs only in people who have been exposed to repetitive and mild TBI. I think that since CTE cannot be diagnosed till the afterlife, there really is no way of knowing what can cause this, but I think that the general understanding is that rapid hits to the head, and I think that something that needs to be engraved in parents and students, athletes all over, is that you need to get tested. You need to see if you have a concussion. That's why concussion protocol is so heavy in NFL. You see one minor hit, or even boxing, NHL, you see one minor hit and they're off to the locker room to get checked out for concussion protocol. According to the Handbook of Traumatic Brain Injury and Neurodegeneration of the iOS Press in 2020, according further complexity to theories relating to natural history of CTE, we have asserted that CTE can begin immediately, days, weeks, months, years, or even decades after exposure to neurotrauma. And he states that a single injury of any severity or repetitive subconcussive blows can cause CTE. And this isn't just applying to our athletes. Our athletes are one of the most prone to CTE, which they have not been the only ones that have been exposed to it. According to CTE, a review, Rehabilitation Research and Practice in 2012, many of these affected athletes, mostly retired, have struggled in their later years with depression, substance abuse, anger, memory, motor disturbances, and even suicide. I think the most simple form of a solution that we can take is to have everyone look out for each other. I think that it is very important to have all of these people knowing that if something happened to you, they need to be like, go to the doctor. You need to get monthly checkups. I think it's not even out of the ordinary to go get a physical just for your own understanding. I think that even concussion protocol, your physical trainers, your coaches, they should all be making sure that you have these regular checkups. I think teamwork is one of the biggest solutions that we can provide. I just talked about how different brain injuries can affect our children's lives. CTE can also affect other career pathways, and how CTE goes undetected in someone's lifetime. Chronic head injuries can lead to more serious injuries and change the way that our lives are lived. Live out the best years of our lives, play your sports, pick your career paths, but know your limits.